Hello and welcome to a video. Today we're going to take a look at Lanturn in the Great League here. As we're going to take a look at some battles still from the last season now, where we can take a look at a team with Lanturn. Why is Lanturn so interesting? We're actually still in the last season, to be fair. You're going to see this one day before the season ends. I forgot about that one. But yeah, why is Lanturn so interesting to take a look at right now? This Pokemon gonna gain a ton of more interest for the for the upcoming season. Lanturn going to be one of the Pokemon that you're going to see in those regionals way more often now. Main reason for this is just the wing attack buff. So many flying types have so much potential now, like a Pelipper, like the Noctowl getting even better. You're going to see Noctowl a ton of times in the open meta. There's so much potential for the Lanturn right now to cover, but you have to play a little bit around it. It's a little bit tricky also for this team here to play around it with the Galarian Stunfisk here, but at least you're going to have it in a matchup here against the Umbreon, which is pretty nice. But also, this trainer runs the move Water Gun. Nowadays, like before, I was like definitely someone who would say, yeah, Water Gun, please, because you have a better matchup against... Oh, this was not a swap that I should have done there. Totally not. Before I was like, yeah, Water Gun would be a very cool move, for, especially as a safe swap for all the Stunfisk that's coming in against you. But now I'm kind of leaning towards Spark more, because Spark gives you way more options against all those flying types, and you're going to see Noctowl way more commonly now in the upcoming meta for the new season. So definitely be aware for the Lanturn. Tomorrow they're going to be videos as well towards the top teams for each league that is coming out now, with the Ultra League Remix, the Great League Remix Cup and the Great League itself. What a game here, winning by 1 HP by the way. And I also have a team for like at least the Great League Cup there for Lanturn. I don't know the other one because I haven't done the video yet. But Lanturn definitely going to be one of the best Pokemon that you can run nowadays. It's going to be one of the top Pokemon to counter flying types like this Garmy here. Going to get Thunderbolted, as they mostly going to go for the Brave Bird here. No Sky Attack actually. Look at this, doesn't do any damage at all. You can go for one Thunderbolt and this will knock out the opponent's Garmy after some more Water Guns. So you're going to be able to flip switch here. You're going to still align your Pokemon against the Sableye, even though it doesn't really matter for your team, because you have two very good answers against Sableye still on your team here. You're going to let this move go through. Charm damage together with the potential of having like the Umbreon sweeping the endgame. There's nothing that the opponent can really do here. I wouldn't even shield this one, to be fair, but you're going to shield it. It's a foul play, so wasn't really necessary. As we see a Stunfisk coming in here, a normal Stunfisk, which actually has some play as well now, I guess, because you have a little bit better matchup against flying types, because you have the stab move there. With the discharge, which does more damage against it, and you have the electric typing, which might have a little bit more of a play now as well. Maybe electric types come out a little bit better there, and this electric type has also play against the normal Galarian version of itself. So maybe normal Stunfisk has some play now as well. We have to see what I'm going to showcase for the new season as well. It's a little bit tricky for me because I'm going to be away for the first few days of the season in Stuttgart, so it's going to be a little bit tough to make videos from there, but going to be alright. We will see here the opponent letting the moves go through, which is amazing. We can just farm them all the way down now. And we will see that they're going to, I guess, surrender there as we see the next game coming through. We see the Steelix here. Shadow Steelix going to be one of the best Pokemon in the Remix edition of the Great League, as this Pokemon got buffed with Psychic Fangs, and Psychic Fangs makes this Pokemon so much stronger. We see an Oranguru coming in here, which is an amazing matchup for the Umbreon. Umbreon will completely hardroll this Pokemon. There's nothing they can do against you. They have Psychic type moves, they have Dark type moves. Both of them are really resisted against you. Their fast move is resisted. You can now farm them all the way down. You don't have to throw anything anymore. They don't have Focus Blast. They don't have a normal type move. They just have something that cannot hit you, which is amazing for you, as you have now 100 energy. Very well played here by this player. We see these Steelix coming back in, and one foul play going to hurt them actually pretty much a lot there. And the cool thing about Steelix here as well in this matchup is that Umbreon going to be able to resist those Psychic Fangs and also the Crunch really, really well, as both of them are resisted as well. And you will be able to go ahead and go for the foul play again, getting at the shield from the opponent. You should be able to maybe even farm down here. You wouldn't shield here at all. And we see the Psychic Fangs coming back in, doesn't do enough damage, and I think this is a Toxapex in the back, which you should have enough play exactly with your Lanturn. This is also where I like Spark a little bit more nowadays. Toxapex is a little bit more common. Main reason for Toxapex being more common is that you can beat the combination of Medicham, Lickitung, and also the Trevenant, and also the Noctowl, which also got boosted now. Maybe Noctowl is now a worse matchup for you, but you have like a potential against nearly everything in the top tier meta. So that's why this Pokemon is a little bit better nowadays. But we will see here very nice 4-and-1 set, I guess, as you will be able to reach expert with that. Very, very nice. Congrats to them. Didn't look through the gameplay yet, so I didn't know that this was in there, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much. As we see, a very good lead for you. Umbreon going to be an amazing lead for you. And you're going to go straight into your Lanturn against the Steelix. I don't know if it's actually the right play. I mean, it's definitely a decent play. You will be able to have, of course, the super effective moves here. I actually wonder if Steelix would have went for Psychic Fangs. I think they would have been able to win the 2-shield there just because Steelix is so strong nowadays. I don't know. This thing is just wild. You're going to shield up the Psychic Fangs here right now. You're gonna still get to another move and you're going to be able to realign. So I guess it was the right move here. As we see the Umbreon coming back in, you should just go straight for Surf, to be fair, and you're gonna do straight Surf there, as they would have got to another move in time. They might want to find me down, which they actually don't. They should have definitely done that, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to be matched up against the Ninetales now anyway. And we see a Toxapex against an Umbreon now. This is a very neutral matchup. Like, Umbreon is like such a good Pokemon for the Great League, such a tank, but Toxapex has just the extreme bulk here that can just survive basically everything. Very good no shield here on the Brine. Brine does way less damage than a Sludge Wave, so very good that he no shield here. As we see those follow plays going to chunk up a little bit more. Yeah, you're going to no shield again, you're going to shield now, and that's going to be the Sludge Wave, which is amazing for you. Very good recognition there. Very good no shield in the first one and shield in the second one. Shield in the correct move is very important in this matchup, as you're going to be able to spam those foul plays here. Maybe the opponent tries to catch one, they're going to try to at least throw a move against you here. Will the last resort doesn't knock you out, you should save one move, you didn't save a move, but I think you're going to be able to just farm them down and get to a Psyshock anyway with your Ninetales, which should make this a pretty nice matchup for you, as the Psyshock is coming through now. And this should hopefully knock out the opponent. I think it does. Let's see. It definitely does. Yeah, I thought he had actually more HP than he had there, but very good game there. As we see the next opponent, very neutrally, to be fair. Toxicroak is one of those Pokemon that at least can deal with Charm. Charm going to be way less common now because it got nerfed, even though Charm itself is not bad yet. It's still very decent, but people think always when something gets nerfed, it's basically unusable, which is not the case, but yeah. You see a Greedent coming in here, which is a very neutral matchup against the Umbreon. I think Umbreon wins this pretty clearly though, even though both just throw neutral moves. I think you're going to win this pretty clearly at least. You should still be in like yellow health now, and you can go for another move, but you try to overform a little bit. You can go for another move here as well with the Body Slam, and you have a ton of energy now. You can go for a foul play, and this should knock out the opponent if they don't want to shield, but they do want to shield, and they're going to force you to shield as well. Look how neutral this matchup is, actually kind of wild. They actually might be able to win this in the 2 shields, but I'm not sure. I think you can actually snarl them down at this point, but they're going to let the move go through anyway. You align your Pokemon perfectly for the Toxicroak now. You can try to farm all the way down. You're going to have to shield this move up here, definitely. Going to be a Mud Bomb, very nice bait by the opponent. We see Steelix coming in again. This is annoying, but very nice that you stayed in for a little bit. I will have stayed in for the charge move here as well, though. Catching the Psychic Fangs doesn't really help you too much either. But you can go ahead and go for one Surf at least, as you have already one Weather Ball stored, which I think should put them into a range where you can knock them out, especially now as the Lanturn going to be able to weaken them a little bit, and gets even still to the charge move here, which I didn't expect. Lanturn with a 1 HP, like literally this was the definition of 1 HP. You should win for the Psyshock here, of course, but I think it's still enough. Let's see. Yeah, this is enough, so it doesn't really matter too much. As we see the next opponent, an Excadrill in the Great League. Very funny one here, I guess, in the catch cup or whatever this is here. Not everybody has the better version of Excadrill, which is basically the Galarian Stunfisk available. So we will see the charge move coming through here. Foul Play going to do more than half of its health, which is insane. But Excadrill is actually not that bad. I actually used Excadrill for a little bit in the Great League season as well. In the beginning, we see, I think that's most likely going to be a Pidgeot, exactly a Pidgeot coming through here. I saw the Gust animation. Someone used an Elite Fast TM here for this Pokemon. as they completely wasted this in hindsight now, because this Pokemon also learns a Wing Attack, which is now way better, so they have to use another one. Get Wrecked Trainer very definitely definitely wasn't worth it here for this season to try to give this one another fast move there. Gust is definitely not the way to go anymore on Pidgeot. Go for Wing Attack and you're going to have a way better time. We see a Ninetales coming in. This is a little bit awkward here. But I think you're going to be fine here still. Yeah, you're going to be able to get the shield. But you're going to try to sag your Ninetales here. They still have to throw, which is fine for you. So they still have to throw Ninetales against Ninetales. One is from Ice, one is from like Fire typing. You're still going to be able to even get to a charge move, which is amazing for you, as this Weather Ball going to get them low enough that you can just farm them all the way down and they have to surrender. Next opponent, Kaiwei Chang. Kaiwei Chang is pretty decent actually for your team, especially if you can catch maybe a move on your Umbreon. That would be nice. Let's see what you're going to do here. You're not going to be able to catch a move. Are you going to shield this move? Yeah, you're going to shield the incoming Shadow Ball. Totally a fine play. Nothing to worry about here. Very nice. We see a shield coming up, which is also very nice. And you can maybe swap, but I think you're just going to try to farm them all the way down, I guess. Shadow Ball comes through and you will be able to farm them all the way down, winning this lead match up, and you can align your Pokemon, which is pretty important here, because Quagsire is definitely something that your Lanturn wouldn't like to see here, as this thing has access to Earthquake and Stone Edge as well. It's the sad thing about Quagsire. I think it would have been way better if it just had a better bait move. Something like Surf or whatever would have been so cool on Quagsire. Just a bulkier Swampert basically. We see the Earthquake coming through and we see Greedent coming in. You should have swapped out already, I think, at this point of time. But it is fine, as you will be able to now go into your Lanturn and have a pretty neutral match up here. Still, the fast move is super effective, which basically is actually now with the debuff does some nice damage. Very interesting play of the opponent to go for the debuffs here, which worked out at least for the first one. You will be able to go ahead and go for one Surf. This will get the shield from the opponent, and you should not be able to reach another one. So you have to throw another charge move with your Umbreon here. Umbreon can get to a foul play, and you sadly lose the CMP tie here, which is going to be a little bit annoying. Body Slam is coming through. You can go for the foul play now. This will knock out the opponent pretty easily. Oh no, actually they still survive. Doesn't really matter, they can still go for another foul play against the Quagsire. This Quagsire will hopefully go down. It does go down, and one more fast move is enough to knock out this Greedent. Next opponent, we will see a Stunfisk against you in the lead, but it's not the Galarian one. We see a Lanturn coming in as well, and it's this time around the Spark version, which is definitely good that you didn't have to align your own Lanturn against this, because Water Gun against Spark might definitely be a matchup for the Spark version. We will see here the foul play coming through, going to do around 1/3 of itself, I would guess, as the next move coming through as well. They definitely need another foul play afterwards. Around 1/3 of its health going to go down from one foul play here. Thunderbolt coming through here, going to do basically the same amount, as you're going to have more bulk than them. You can go for another foul play, getting at the shield from the opponent, which is an interesting play. So you can have to shield as well now, right? No, you don't shield. You're actually going to let this move go through. Interesting. You will be able to go into your Ninetales, and you will see the opponent coming into a Skarmory, which you might try to catch the move on your Lanturn a little bit too early, as we see the Stunfisk coming back in here. But you should actually have a pretty decent match up against the Stunfisk now, because of the Water Gun, and especially as the Surf hit here now, you can just shield everything they throw at you, or you don't. Okay, don't know why, like literally don't know why. This is the hardest hitting move that would come through against you, no matter what you're going to face. But it's still going to be a good game here, as this opponent shouldn't have any chance anymore. You're going to no-shield the Sky Attack. Very scary though. Like I definitely don't understand why I didn't shield the Mud Bomb there. You're gonna go back into your Ninetales. You can go for 2 charge moves here, so it's going to be a pretty easy game still. But it was a little bit closer than you maybe wanted it to be. But yeah, Lanturn is a very cool Pokemon, a very strong, bulky water and electric type Pokemon that are going to have a lot of play in the upcoming season. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you're hyped for the new season. I see you in the next one. Bye.